I know I put that title together, but my god, it's magical to see your name listed like that. Wait, what was I supposed to be doing again?
Well, we ain't getting any deader. Back to work.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for supporting us by clicking on this video. I can't promise the best video ever, as it's been about 13 years since I last did something like this. But my father and I both agreed it would be nice for people to see some of the operation and how it unfolded. And for a while there, I did not believe it would unfold. Let me take you back a bit.
What, you go back a ways, before I was a llama, and this will all make sense. All right, now see, that's a little too far back. Oh, look at me. That's me as a baby. All right, let's move ahead.
I first had the idea to attempt the record all the way back in 2022. Sometime in May of that year, I was sent an article from my neighbor on Alan's collection. Don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was featured on MeTV's Collector's Call TV show, and it showed off some of his amazing items that I could only ever hope to have the space for. But it was his text message that really started me thinking about this. That single text ate at me for weeks. Well, actually, maybe a little bit more than a few weeks, because it was about October of that year. I had just recovered from COVID and had spent the time thinking of ways my father and I could beat Lily's record. Actually, sorry, let me back up a bit here. This is Lily, the current Guinness World Record holder for the largest collection of Doctor Who memorabilia, the record that we're going for. She beat Yantu's record of 2,131 items, with the massive record total of 6,641 items. And she's been the Doctor Who Queen since 2016. This is where I need to add, I have nothing but love for Lily. She's a huge member of the Doctor Who collector's hobby, and from my limited interactions, she seems like the sweetest person ever. However, I'm an American Doctor Who fan, and historically America has not been seen as the place for Doctor Who fans. And like most Americans, I just couldn't let a Brit keep a record. Where was I? Yes, October 2022. Now knowing the actual number for the record, I spent the next few weeks working Black Friday customer calls while getting the paperwork ready to submit to Guinness. January 2023, I submitted the paperwork to be approved to attempt to beat the record. April 15th, I was actually approved. But little did I know that 2023 would be the worst year of my life. So let's speedrun this hell. April 29th, my sister's birthday, I find out that I'm accepted for treatment at the Mayo Clinic, 3 states away. Whole month of May, I'm prepping for my leave of absence in the last week of June. I also tell my father and fellow collector, Randy, who was our expert witness, on May 2nd that we are approved for the Guinness World Record. And my father says he's not going to even talk about it or even think about it till after Mayo. Then we make the long trip up to Minnesota in June, where I become the sickest I've ever been. Yeah, just pure terror. But I mean, I did get to boop a falcon while I was up there at Mayo, so I mean, pretty cool. I also had to find this cool spot to hide from everyone. Then we made it back before the 4th of July. These months? I actually have no idea what happened in these months. I was on so much medication, I honestly can't remember a single thing. That is until I lost my best friend the last week of August. That snapped me out of it, and, well, 3 days later, this jerk came into my life. And it's good that Mr. Presley snapped me out of it, as in the middle of everything, I became bored and decided to start college. And that August was the start of my very first year at the University of North Texas. Go Mean Green! I also always take vacation for my birthday, and that's when my father actually came around to the idea of beating the record. I say came around, but I'm pretty sure I didn't shut up about it for that entire year. So, we plan to get started in October. Yeah, we're gonna jump here because it's best to gloss over the months before this. But last week of April, our first expert witness decided to back out on us. Early in May, we asked Randy to be the new expert witness, who honestly we should have just asked to begin with, and we decided to formulate the plan to do the big count the last week of May. Except my other two witnesses couldn't do the days we had agreed to. So we pushed it back to mid-June. Yeah, because of course I ended up in the hospital just days before we were supposed to start doing the count. That caused the new date to be July 13th and the 14th, and thank God it actually happened on those days. As I've laid out, I have been wanting to try to do this for a very long time. And I bet you would love to get through all this exposition and get to those wonderful time lapses. Don't worry, I'm almost done. I just need to get through some legal jargon before we can continue.
It's called a contract.
You want us to sign this?
Just a formality, really. Yeah.
Who are they?
Magical time-traveling elves. Yeah, magic. Okay, they're my lawyers. Liability issues, litigious society, frivolous lawsuits, you understand.
This record attempt was done by Lee and William Thompson, was not sponsored, nor did we receive anything for doing this. In the video evidence and in the public, we refer to our collection as the library. We have ran with this concept, and I created a website and logo because I get bored very, very easily. This collection is not part of any museum, nor a non-profit entity. It's the private and personal collection of the two record holder wannabes, Lee and William. We also followed all the rules from Guinness, including their shift regulations. We also attest that everything submitted is correct, though we will be the first to admit that we made a few mistakes when it came to counting in the video. Because, apparently none of us can count past like 2,000 something. Don't worry, I'll explain more later. For now, enjoy the time lapses. Okay, well, it is right on 10 o'clock. It is the night before, and I can honestly say my whole body is killing me. My lung hurts, my head hurts, I'm nervous as hell. We'll see how this goes. Everything's set up though, I got everything going. All cameras are set up, everything's set up so that way it can live stream, so we'll be able to condense the video a little bit better. Food's been ordered. Everything's been cataloged. So if everything goes well, we should have 8,083 items officially. Again, once we get over the main goal of 6,641, we might just stop. Because it's a hell of a lot of items. We'll have to see how we feel. But yeah, not much more we can do other than just go to bed and hope to God it's going to work. So I guess back to Puppet Me. Well, it's the day. Right now it's 5 a.m. and I didn't sleep last night. Just too excited, too worried, who knows. I will say though, it is very therapeutic to watch Colin Ferris's tunnel videos. Did that over and over and over and over again. So that's fun. Should have some. Everyone's coming over in about 7 o'clock, and we
we will be doing safety brief and breakfast and start working at 8. So, yay. See you then. Okay, so it is now 5:30. Let's go ahead into the room. There we go. As you can see, we were able to get everything in here. So it has made the room quite small. But we're going to go ahead, try this anyway. We're going to go ahead and get the camera system. We've got a couple cameras. We've got one there, 2 over there. And then we'll try to see if we can get this working. Okay, so it seems to be working here. We got it streaming live. Yes, right now it's live. So as you can see, it's small. We should be able to fit 3 people in here, so we'll have our expert witness. But we're going to need to have a spot for our other witnesses. And we got permission to be able to have them in the building, just in a different room. So I will go show you how that works. Okay, so here we are. We're in the living room now. As you can see, we now have it streaming. So we've actually got it on YouTube. It's actually pretty easy to, if I go back here, actually watch it live. So that's how they're going to be going ahead and streaming it. And then also, for our count, this is how we're going to keep track of everything. We have gone ahead, taken the time, about a whole week, to produce 184-page documents. Even though we have to do a separate inventory list for Guinness, we decided that we were going to do an inventory list for ourselves to make it a little bit easier for us. So everything here is numbered with a corresponding item if we need it, and then the description. We also have everything separated by category. So this would be cart 1. We've got like black box as a wall shelf 1. So in this right here, I can be going through, check marking what we've done, and then we can ask our expert witness to verify. Hey, I just finished 1,181. What did you count that? Yes. Okay, so we're on track. We've counted the correct ones. Our witnesses will be able to have this too, so that way they can go ahead and check it and keep up to date with us. So let's see how this goes. Okay. So my name is William Thompson. I am one of the people on this record, along with Lee Thompson. Can you say your name?
Randy Hollendonor.
And your role?
I am the Doctor Who expert of what we're going to be counting today.
Perfect. And you are?
Denise Dowd.
And you are?
Tony Dowd.
And your roles?
Witnesses.
Perfect. So this is going to be for the largest collection of Doctor Who memorabilia. The reference number is 2304-15033-110-LCOD. We are going to be working today on trying to count up to 6,641 items, which is the current record that was done in 2016 and has not been beaten since. We have done a preliminary inventory. We have a total eligible items of 8,083 items available. These items, though, are what we thought were eligible as your role. If there's any items that you think are ineligible, you have to let us know right away, and we have to remove them. If you have any questions about any item that of just any, I don't know if this is Doctor Who properly related or to any of the Who-niverse now, we have to automatically scrap it. If you two are watching the live stream, because we have permission to live stream it outside of our main collections room, then if you have any questions, you need to make it known right away, and we have to pause what we're doing and address those questions or concerns right away. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So the rules for today, we have to work 4 hours, and then we have to have a 4-hour break, then we can come back and work 4 hours. That is because this is due to the amount of people that we have as expert witness and witnesses, not an actual full-blown rule if we had more people. That being said, we have today, which is the 13th, we have the 14th and the 15th. We're hoping to get this all done today, and if not, we will go a little bit over into Sunday. Again, we have 6,641 items to beat, or to tie, 42 to beat. If we can get to the 42 mark and it's Sunday morning by that point, then we're going to just go a little bit over until that 4-hour break is done, and we'll count it at that number. We won't do the full collection. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, some of the rules for it, this is mainly for you and you to review. We are not allowed any homemade items unless it had monetary value that we paid for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. We have special permission that we're allowed to have multiples of items if it pertains to box sets. So, for example, if we have one box set of slipcase and 4 books, we're allowed to break it down into slipcase and 4 books per our numbers.
5 pieces.
Correct. If we have an issue of a magazine where that it was originally came sealed, and we have 2 copies, a sealed and an open with its additional contents like a poster and art cards, we can count those as separate items as well.
The art cards would be separate?
Correct. Okay. Does that make sense?
Even though they're connected?
Exactly. Okay. Because they are now open from there and they're count as separate, unique items. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any unofficial, any unauthorized, anything that is not exactly Doctor Who related to any of its characters or universes cannot be allowed. We've gone through and tried our best to make sure that everything has been taken out of the collection. But, again, we are human. We might have made a mistake, so it's up to you to catch it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And
okay.
We have put red dots on the things that
yes, that's the other thing. So there's 3 colored dots that we're going to have in the collections room. Pink, orange, and red. Red dots, if you're going through and pulling stuff off shelves, red dots means we cannot use them. We've already gone through and established that they're either duplicates of items or that they're unauthorized, so then we can't use them. Orange means that we're going to have to open it. It could be anything from we're going to have to verify the edition number because we can have multiple editions of items, but we can't have the same exact one. Of course, that breaks the duplicate rule. It also could be we have a box of or a bag of cards, and there's 5 cards in there. We need to open them up and show all 5. Pink is an indicator that we need to be cautious because whatever container that has a pink sticker means that there is both red and probably red, orange, and normal colored stickers in there. So we need to be careful that we pull out the right ones. Outside of there, that's pretty much the rules. Like I said, it's Doctor Who related characters, universe, and all that stuff. Any questions?
The target books that have multiple revisions, those count as separate.
Correct.
As long because of the different colored blocks, but the revision year or
if it's a different cover, different revision, all that counts.
Okay.
So some of it will be easier. We won't have to open because they have cover differences that distinguish it, price differences on the back. Others we will have to open because there's no distinction other than the text. Exactly. What else? So this will be filmed and live streamed, like I said, to the other room, so that way we can have our witnesses watch it. We will also be having access to the footage live while in the collections room, so that way we can establish any issues and try to fix them before it becomes a bigger issue. That being said, we have to be aware that any issues or any technical difficulties does not allow us to have more time over the 4 hours. That takes part of that 4 hours. So knock on wood that we don't actually have any problems. Any questions from anybody?
Nope.
I think so.
Okay, so the one last thing is we said we did an inventory of it already so we could get an idea of exact number because we didn't want to just guess on how many we had based off of our spreadsheets. These will be available. We're going to go through them. We'll check them off. We'll say the number. For example, number 1 is going to be the Oswin Oswald Dalek Eagle Moss figure. We'll be saying that on camera. I will be saying that on camera. And while we'll be checking it off, it'll be an easier way for us all to know which one we're on, if we have any issues, and then that way there we can easily distinguish the items and mark them off if they are become ineligible for any reason. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
If we have a question, is if it is eligible or not, can we look it up to Google reference for things that we
as an expert witness, however you want to do it,
right?
Just know that that is your purview that you need to. If you have any question about any of the items. Oh, also, autographed items. We were expressly told that autographed items do not count as unique separate items. So, even though we have books that technically we would count in our normal collection as multiples because we have them signed, they are not allowed.
That doesn't count as a personal item,
No,
because you paid for a monetary value.
Correct. It just counts as a duplicate item because the only thing is it has a signature. The rest of it is completely the same. We can count things like autographed photos or any documents that are autographed, books, papers, anything, but as long as it's one item.
It's not a duplicate of. Okay.
Exactly. So that's also something you need to keep in mind. Again, we've gone through and tried to remove all that we can, but if you notice anything that we missed, you got to tell us, and then we got to strike it from the actual document.
Okay.
Once this is all done, either tonight or tomorrow, you guys will have to sign paperwork based on what you have seen and what you have done. It's super easy. You have to literally say what you did, what you saw, how you measured it. So in this case, you'll be listening to us and watching us count them directly, and that's how you answer that. You literally have to be a little more descriptive. You don't have to worry about when you have to fill it out your field of expertise. You're not the expert here, but you can say that you both have graduated school. You can count, you can read, you can listen. And the final measurements, if you guys are not on the same page as you or us, we're going to have to try to figure out how that is, and whatever number is the lowest number, that's the one we're going to have to go with if we can't come to a concession. And then from there, you'll have to sign and all that stuff like a normal legal document. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay. So what we're going to do for time frame right now is it is 7:40 a.m. So that's going to give us 20 minutes to get ready, get set up. We're going to try to keep to a schedule of 8 a.m. We're going to start counting. That will give us 4 hours till noon. And then we'll have to have our break, and then we will go from noon to 4 for that break. And then we'll go ahead and start counting again from 4 to 8. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then, like I said, depending on how far we get, we'll probably have to do another 4-hour session Saturday or Sunday. Hopefully we don't have to, but we're at least able to. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. You can stop it.
one's your favorite book, Randy?
2340.
Yep, you heard that right. Most likely due to me mentioning the somehow NSFW official Doctor Who book. It caused Randy to skip 2330 and start at 2340. So from this point on, please note that whatever number is said on screen is actually 10 more than the actual number. For the Guinness advisor watching this, the inventory sheet that you have actually reflects the correct count number. Doctor Who Companions. Remember this one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
2341.
A Book of Monsters. What?
That once. 2342.
Doctor Who: The Secret Lives of Monsters.
2343.
Doctor Who: The Visual Dictionary with the 3 paradigm dialects on the cover.
2344.
Visual Dictionary updated and expanded with the lenticular. one here is 40p, 45 pence. This one is 75 pence. This one is £1 35. And this is distributed in the US.
Can you flip them back over, please?
Yes.
Alright, that's okay, black block. This says black block letter logo.
That's the first one.
Okay. So that one will go 6606.
Move on! Nothing to see here! Please disperse! Nothing to see here!
Those playing at home may have just noticed that Randy just said 6606, and in a few frames he will also reuse 6607 and 6608. Due to reusing these three numbers, we now have a 7-point gap instead of 10. So, as an example, if he says 6700, it's actually 6693. Again, for the Guinness advisors who are watching this, the inventory you have reflects the correct count number.
Okay. Then you have two blue logos, but you show them with different prices. So 6607 and 6608. And then you have the orange neon, which will make 6609.
The first one is 60p. There we go.
6694.
There's been a mistake.
Yep, it's me. I'm back. He just said 6694. Again, which now means we're only 4 points away from having an actual accurate count. For the Guinness advisor watching this, the inventory you have reflects the correct count number. So it looks like that one is broke. Next one is 60 pence.
6695.
Next one is 85 pence.
6696.
This one is distributed in the US.
6697.
And this one has distributed by Black Spot.
6698. 4 in there.
1.
Over 2. You can see it sideways.
So this way. Here we
Yeah,
go.
towards there you go. Okay. So we got one more. Okay, so 68, 29.
Oh my god. Okay, he just said 6829 again, which now means we're only 2 points away from having an accurate count in the video. I'm going to say it again for the Guinness advisor watching this. The inventory list you have reflects the correct count number.
68, 30, 68, 31, and 68, 32. Now, Doctor Who invasion from space. Okay, 68, 33. Call me Jock. Jack. Oh, 68, 34. Let's see. Planet of Evil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 2 red. I'm sorry, 2 blacks and 3 reds. Oh, there you go. Alright, so let's check out the couple of blacks to start us off.
60 cents?
6806.
Okay, I'm giving Randy hell both in this video and in real life, but he did this job for free and without asking for anything. I've grown up knowing him, and in the last few years, it went from my father's coworker to a true friend. However, how in the did you say 6806 again? Deep breaths. Okay. So for every number said in the video now, we are now 32 behind the real number. As everyone probably needs an example, if he says 6900, the actual number is 6932. And of course, for the Guinness advisor watching this, that sheet that you have reflects the correct count number.
75 cents. 6807. So the red logos.
1.25.
6808.
US.
6809.
And £1.5.
6810.
Let's do it later.
Eternal Battle. Yep. 734.
42. We are now 42. Sorry about that. We are now 42 points behind the actual number. That means if he says 7,000, our actual count number is 7,042. Again, if he says 7,000 in the video, the actual count for the world record is 7042. Once again, for the Guinness Advisor, the inventory sheet you have reflects the correct count number.
Death Race. Yep. 735. Model Engrave. 736. So this is Time and Space, Big Blood Fight. Yep. 7100. Attack of the Orton Army. 7102.
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
It's not that I'm angry. It's just, this makes so much more work for me. And yes, me being here, pausing this video, means that another mistake was made. However, since he skips 7101 and goes to 7102, which again, remember, is actually off because we are now, 42 up, it actually shortens the difference by 1 now. So we now have a difference of 41. So, in an example, if he says 7200 in the video, we're actually at 7241. For the advisor watching this, you've heard this before.
Shiver, Underground Monsters. 7103. Fearsome Final Weapon. 7104. Counterattack of the Daleks. 7105. And those were Japanese?
Yep, correct.
But that's not the next one.
Nope.
Return of the Daleks. That's 7190.
I swear to God, I'm smart.
Yep. He just reused 7190. Show 42. We are back to a 42 point difference. I spent weeks planning for every contingency, any issues that came up. Never thought jumping around would be such a problem though. But then again, none of us were the mathematicians, so we apparently needed speed to catch these mistakes till Monday. Thankfully, since we did notice them, we were able to work together to sort it all out, as none of us wanted to go back to the library and try to go for round 2, especially after having to move so many things during the count. And for the last time, you, yes you, the poor Guinness advisor watching this, thank you. You don't get paid enough for this. And, of course, the inventory sheet you have reflects the correct count number.
Okay. So then the end of the trial. 2191.
What are the dialects?
Yep, 7192.
At the time of recording the script, I actually have no idea how long the actual video will be. However, I know it wasn't the total 16 hours that everyone in the video put into it, or the countless hours of planning prior to the big count, or the countless hours to get everything set up afterwards. But truly, we could not have done it without the people like you and those in our community. This hobby has so many unique people in it that allows us, literally 2 American natives from Chicago, to be able to speak to some of the biggest names in the space. We truly can't wait to see what the future brings, as my father and I will continue to be part of the Doctor Who collectors community for as long as there is one. Thanks again, and for those on YouTube, I hope to see you again for part 2, where we hopefully will be celebrating securing the record. And for the Guinness advisor watching this, again, I could never do the job. You don't get paid enough to watch a bunch of idiots for 16 hours straight. Our hat truly goes off to your team, and we hope to hear back from you on the record soon. But before I go, I will leave you with this.
Homo sapiens. What an inventive, invincible species. It's only a few million years since they crawled up out of the mud and learned to walk. Puny, defenseless bipeds. They've survived flood, famine, and plague. They've survived cosmic wars and holocausts. No. Here they are, out among the stars, waiting to begin a new life, ready to outsit eternity. They're indomitable. Indomitable.
Woo!